My head. Well, I suppose I've woken up in worse spots than this before.
Yep.
What's that over there on the wall?
Where? This? Delivery drop-off. Several trash cans line the wall. They don't smell very pleasant. You'd rather not explore the contents. Yeah, I know, buddy. Tough times, though. A puddle of filthy water has accumulated in the center of the alley. There doesn't seem to be a good drainage system in place here. Anything in the dumpster? You don't want to explore the dumpsters too closely. There doesn't seem to be anything useful in it anyway. What's this? A collection of leaflets and flyers are stuck to the wall. They seem to have been here for several years. You examine the flyers more closely. Re-elect. It's just a bunch of old posters for movies, music events, and prohibition. Although you can just make out a familiar blue underneath one of them. You attempt to tear some of the posters off, but as they've become plastered to the wall, There has to be some way of seeing what's underneath. Do I have anything? Matches, flask. You can't see it, okay. Can I burn them off? You cleverly attempt merging the flask with the matches. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, what if I just burn them? You can't see, okay. I thought it would help. Maybe I can wet them. If you washed your hands in this water, they'd likely end up dirtier than when they started. Okay, I was just thinking you could wet the posters and just peel them off. But whatever. Bar. So I can't? Oh, I can fill the flask. You don't want to get that... Oh, you don't want to do anything, man. An old cardboard box lies on the floor, waiting to be thrown out with the rest of the trash. Anything in it? I like the nice water effect there. The box is empty apart from an old red handkerchief. It reminds you of your old one, so you decide to take it with you. Perfect. I'm gonna do that. You soak the handkerchief in the dirty puddle water. Lovely. And just use that with the posters. You decide to try wetting the posters with the soaked handkerchief. That should work. Oh, nice. Here we go. We're gonna see that nice poster. Still need some more rubbing. A lot more rubbing. Rub, rub, rub. Still rubbing. This is taking a long time.
Coral Gables. The Golden Galleon. The days when I was an upstart kid who was gonna make something of himself and restore the family name. Look where that got me. Forget it. Life's too short to hold grudges. After all, if it hadn't been for Merrick, I'd probably be panhandling in Bryant Park right now. Might as well go see how the old bird is doing these days. Can't possibly be worse off than me.
He seems to be doing just fine.
This place hasn't changed one bit. At least something from the old days is still around.
Yeah. I wonder if we should pay a visit to our brother. I'm sure he's doing fine.
Alfie Banks? What on earth are you doing here?
Mrs. Merrick, I know it's been a while, and I'm sorry.
10 years is much more than a while in my book, young man. In any case, I'm afraid you've picked a bad time to call.
What's the matter?
It's George, that stubborn fool. He's gonna get himself killed.
Killed? How?
You mean you haven't heard?
There's a hurricane coming. They're saying it might be as bad as the one in 26. It's set to pass through the Keys tomorrow afternoon.
So, why hasn't anyone prepared here?
Because it's not expected to come this far north.
Then there's something I'm not understanding. How exactly is George in danger?
We've been living down in Matacumbe Key for the past few years. George opened up a fishing club and we've been running it together ever since he was ousted from the city commission. When he heard the hurricane was coming, he sent me up here and refused to budge. He said he wasn't going to let his dream die twice.
That's crazy! We have to get him out of there!
I'm afraid there isn't much that can be done. They've stopped all the trains going south.
There has to be a way. Don't worry, ladies. I'll get George back here safely. I owe him that much, at least.
Please be careful, Alfie.
And good luck.
Well, I believe I still have my green piece of crap. Hello, police officer.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What can I do for you?
How you doing?
Didn't you used to be a guard at the Dinner Key Marina?
Yes, I did. Until I got fired for letting some jerk steal a part from a hydroplane. Took me years to be able to convince anyone to hire me back.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, really sorry about that. And we're probably gonna do something else right now that is gonna get you fired again.
When does the next train leave?
It doesn't.
What?
Well, haven't you heard? There's a hurricane set to strike the Keys.
Yes, I have actually.
Well, then you should know that all the trains have been canceled.
Yeah, but I really want to go.
You don't understand. It's of the utmost importance that I get down to the Keys.
I do understand, and I'm afraid you're out of luck, friend. There's only one train going down there, and it's not for passengers.
Why not?
Because it's being sent to evacuate the WPA construction workers who haven't left yet. If you need to take a fishing trip, I suggest you wait a few days.
But I am one of those workers, and I need to go to work.
There's something important we need to discuss.
Is there? Do tell.
Oh dear.
Look, friend, it's extremely important I get on that train.
Business. I've got official business in the Keys, and I need to get down there ASAP. I have a friend in the Keys who needs my help. He won't care about that. I'm the train conductor. This thing isn't going anywhere without me. I don't think he's gonna let me just tell him that I'm the conductor without any proof. I've got business.
I have official business in the Keys, and I need to get down there as soon as possible.
Official business? Who would schedule anything with a hurricane about to strike?
You'd be surprised. Some of us can't get a break.
Well, I hear you there. My bosses have been giving me nothing but a hard time for years. But I still don't see why I should let you on this train.
You're overworked and underpaid. Would it be a big deal to let me by? Yeah, kind of. He doesn't really want to get fired again, especially after years of convincing he's good at his job, which he isn't. I have a wealthy friend who'd make it worth your while. Nope. A man might die if you don't let me on. Can you live with that?
A man might die if I don't go down and save him. Can you really live with that on your conscience?
And if I let you go down there, you might get yourself killed too. And then I'd have 2 deaths on my conscience. So unless you give me an extraordinary reason, you're not getting on this train.
Damn it. I thought though... Yeah, he makes a fair point, actually. Let me on the train or I'll report you to your superiors. Well, he's done nothing wrong. George Merrick is in danger. I need to save him. I'm begging you. Okay, George Merrick, definitely.
I need to save George Merrick. He's in danger.
Merrick? The Coral Gables guy? What's he doing down there?
He's been running a fishing club, but he's insisted on staying behind. Please, you don't know him like I do. He's very stubborn and passionate. If I don't go down there, he won't budge and he'll probably die.
Well, fine. I don't know why I'm doing this, but go ahead and get on. But if anyone asks, you don't tell them I let you on board.
Deal.
Great. We're on the train. We're probably gonna die.
Can't see a thing. We should be well on our way. Now I just need to find a way out of this car.
Okay, so I see a lantern there. The lamp is empty. It won't be much use to you currently. What do I have on me? Matches? Well, I have everything. You think about merging the handkerchief with the flask. I thought we still had alcohol in it. Okay, stuff. It's too dark to make out what this is. Feeling around the area, you guess that these are just crates and barrels. I need some sort of fuel, maybe? It would be pointless to light the lamp right now, as it hasn't got... Yeah, I need some alcohol in it, right? You'd only give up your booze if absolutely necessary. There has to be another way to fuel the lamp. Come on, man. This would make a pretty good replacement barrel. Interestingly, the lid of the barrel isn't sealed. You lift it up and see that it is nearly full to the top, with what definitely smells like kerosene. Okay, perfect. Handkerchief to the kerosene. You gently place the handkerchief in the barrel until it's fully soaked. Alright, put it in the lamp. You wring the kerosene out from the handkerchief, filling the base of the lamp. And we shall have a light. Lovely. Okay, so I can't use the cargo, but I need to get out of here. The large metal door is used to load the boxcar. It's also how you manage to sneak in here. Alright, nice train.
The
What
storm
is
seems
this?
to have made landfall already.
Oh,
Horse feathers.
shit.
Sticking around back here probably isn't the best idea. I should head towards the front of the train.
Yeah, keep your panties on. I need the hammer. No. Since it's not currently being used, you decide to appropriate the hammer. Lovely. I'm gonna knock someone out, aren't I? Plyboard. The window has been covered by a plank of plywood, a standard precaution against hurricane winds. Alright. Nothing else in here. Oh, hello.
What? Who are you? What are you doing on this train?
The name's Banks. I snuck on board because I need to get to the Keys.
You're crazy. What were you thinking?
I thought this train was meant to be taking supplies down there.
It was, but the people who sent it underestimated the power of the storm. We're only going forward because there's no way to turn back. The train is already starting to come apart. You're lucky it came up here when you did. I was just about to detach the locomotive.
But why?
Because if even one car gets blown off the tracks, the rest of the train will too. It's not worth... Damn it! I was afraid this would happen. If we don't equalize the pressure in this car, in the next few minutes it'll come apart.
It's okay.
Help me get one of these windows open, would ya?
The windows are stuck shut because of the pressure. You'll need to find some other way to open them. No problem.
Good going, Banks. Now let's get to the locomotive so we can detach the train. Otherwise we'll be swept off the tracks along with the rest of it.
Okay, let's head on to safety? What's in here? More cargo. Okay, neither of them are any use to us. I don't see anything pickable anyway. Whoa, this is bad.
The winds seem to have died down slightly. We must be entering the eye of the storm.
Goodbye, sign.
Or maybe not. I'd better find George. There isn't much time.
Where could he be? Maybe in this house.
George, open this door right now!
Alfie Banks? I have to admit, you were the last person I expected to see walking through that door. What brings you to my little club?
I came to get you, George. In case you weren't aware, there's a huge hurricane on its way.
I am well aware, yes. In fact, I sent Eunice away because of it.
I know. She's the one who told me where I could find you.
I see. I have to confess, I don't fully understand why you've come. But as long as you're here, go ahead and have a seat.
I haven't got time to talk. We have to leave.
I insist. Besides, I'm not going anywhere.
What good is it for you to stay here? You're gonna die. Your business is gonna die either way. You don't have to die with it.
George.
Yes?
I'm sorry for the way I acted. It was wrong of me to become a criminal.
I know we didn't part on the best of terms the last time we saw each other. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I was young and stupid. I thought the world owed me.
Apology accepted, Alfie. We've all been there. So, now that we've got that out of the way, what else is on your mind?
No, you seem pretty relaxed. Regardless of the hurricane that is happening outside, man.
So, what have you been doing with yourself the past few years?
Well, I'm sure you heard about the bust. Coral Gables went bankrupt, and I was forced to step down from the commission. I always enjoyed it down here in the Keys, and Eunice's family just happened to own this property, so we came down here and opened up the fishing club. It's been a much quieter life than I'm used to, but I can't complain. I suppose I had my time to shine.
Couldn't the others have done something for you? What about Doc?
I assume you didn't hear that Doc passed away 5 years ago.
No, I didn't. Huh.
5 years ago, wow. We really haven't been in touch.
Did you know this hurricane was coming?
I had heard, yes. The weatherman had been talking about it on the radio the past few days. They seem to take them a bit more seriously down here in the Keys.
Yeah, for good reason, you know.
Why haven't you evacuated?
Ever heard the old saying, the captain always goes down with his ship? I never abandoned Coral Gables. I see no reason why I should abandon the Caribbean Club.
Coral Gables was lucky. It didn't get the worst of the hurricane in 26. You're right in the path of this one.
That may be, but I think I've taken sufficient precautions.
I don't think so, man. Are you okay with leaving your wife and your mother? Because that's what you're doing right now.
George, we need to leave. Isn't there any way I can convince you?
You did a pretty good job of convincing plenty of other people in the old days. I'm not opposed to hearing what you have to say.
Alrighty then. So we have to
Alfie,
convince
why
Merrick.
is it so important we go back?
Why is it so important? If we stay here, the hurricane will kill us. We need... I'm not sure. Coral Gables needs you back. Your absence is felt. Alfie is very sick. She's not gonna make it. I don't know if going the mother way, because she is pretty old, come on. Danger needed. Make him feel needed.
Coral Gables needs you back, George. It's just not the same without you.
Oh, I hardly think that's true. Coral Gables has been fine without me the past few years. We had our moment in the sun. It's time for a new generation to take over.
You're right. We're just useless relics of a bygone era. No, that's just gonna make him tell me I should stick with him and go down with his ship. We're still important. These new people are a bunch of jerks. Nope. There's still so much left to do. We can't just give up.
There's still so much left to do in Coral Gables. You can't just give up now.
Oh, really? This is an interesting change of attitude. Didn't you give up on Coral Gables when you decided to work for Tom Walsh?
Well, I saw where things were going and went with more lucrative opportunities. Don't try turning this around. This isn't about me. I'm not gonna insult him. I'm just gonna defend it.
I saw the way things were headed and decided to go for a more lucrative opportunity.
For which I can hardly blame you, but I just wish you hadn't jumped ship so soon.
What else was I supposed to do? Drown with the rats? I don't share your optimism, George. I still can't understand how you never felt tempted to just give up yourself.
Who says I didn't? Do you think you're the only one who saw what was going on? The Depression came to Coral Gables years before the rest of the country. There were days when I thought about packing it all in. I knew when the bubble had burst, but I worked too hard to just give everything up. I stayed until they threw me out.
I didn't know that. I thought you were just naive.
We all have our bad days, Alfie. Sometimes it's bad weeks or even months. But what's important above all else is sticking to your principles.
You're right. How could I have been so rash? I'm an idiot. Are your principles worth getting killed over? Principles are great, but money is what's on people's minds nowadays. Are your principles worth getting killed over? He strikes me as a man that would die for his beliefs, so... might as well go with the realistic answer is that money is the only thing on people's minds.
I understand what you're saying, George, but times have changed. Principles are important, surely, but the depression and lack of money is all anyone thinks about. You made the city beautiful, sparing no expense, making it all about the aesthetics. But think about the value of that city in the current economic climate. Someone in charge wouldn't think twice about tearing down the Biltmore to sell the land if it meant a profit.
And all the work we did, all the sacrifices people made will have meant nothing. I hadn't even considered that possibility. I can't in good conscience allow something like that to happen. It seems living down here all these years has made me a bit out of touch. All right, Alfie. As soon as this storm passes, we'll take the first train back to Miami so I can assess the situation myself. Thank you for helping me see things a bit more clearly.
I think I'm the one who should be thanking you for that, George.
Right. Let's get a move on.
Hell
We should
yes.
Be careful. It sounds like the storm has gotten stronger.
Oh, we're gonna die.
George, this building is coming apart. We haven't got any time to lose. We need to get someplace safer.
When we get out there, we need to head directly for the shelter south of here. Just follow me.
Why
and
didn't
we'll
you
be
go
there.
there?
Right behind you.
Idiot. Uh-oh.
George, watch out! The ceiling is collapsing!
Push, George. Push him.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we remember a very special man whose life was unfortunately cut short. Alfie Banks was someone who wasn't afraid to speak his mind. In fact, he certainly gave me a piece of it one of the last times I spoke with him. However, at heart he was a kind soul. Alfie cared about the well-being of others, even if they wronged him, and that takes class. Alfie didn't need to apologize to me for the falling out we had so many years ago, but he did. and that meant more to me than anyone could ever know. In the time I knew and worked with him, Alfie always showed an immense amount of initiative, which makes it no surprise that he achieved as much as he did. Despite harder times in his last few years, he showed in the end that he was a good man. I would not be here speaking to you right now if it weren't for him. Not only do I owe my life to him, but my livelihood as well. Though I may not have expressed it as clearly as I should have, Alfie was instrumental in the success of Coral Gables. I'm sure he knew that. And though he was taken from us far too soon, Alfie's legacy will live on in the streets and buildings of this city. Because, just like the galleon which came to be the symbol of Coral Gables, Alfie sailed through all our lives, leaving behind a golden wake.
There it is. Edward Doc Dammers, Coral Gables' first mayor, completed his term in 1928. In 1929, he suffered a stroke while playing golf. After several months of recovery, he returned to his summer home in Cochituate, how the hell do you pronounce that, Massachusetts, where he died on March 24th, 1930. Oh, and that's the real Doc Dammers. I like the fact that it's inspired by real people and true events. Despite being killed in his penthouse suite on March 4th, 1929, Thomas Fatty Walsh's legacy lives on at the Biltmore Hotel, where many claim his ghost still haunts the 13th floor. Employees have reported elevator malfunctions as well as the smell of cigar smoke when nobody is staying in the suite. Althea Merrick continued living at her home until her death in 1937. In 1976, the city of Coral Gables acquired the house and restored it to its 1925 appearance. In 2010, the Coral Gables Garden Club commissioned a bronze statue of Althea, which currently sits in the garden of the Coral Gables house. William Jennings Bryan went on to participate in the Scopes monkey trial in 1925, where he famously took the stand and denounced evolution. Successfully achieving a guilty verdict, Bryan died 5 days after the trial ended. Interesting. Mabel Cody continued performing death-defying stunts with her flying circus until 1924, when it disbanded due to an accident where she suffered a broken forearm and dislocated shoulder. She went on to join the Doug Davis Baby Ruth Flying Circus. Eunice Peacock Merrick remained in Coral Gables until her death in 1989. That's the year I was born. Her contributions of land as well as founding the Coral Gables Women's Club and Gardening Club made her a pivotal figure in the development of this. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas went on to become a crusader for the environment. Best known for her work related to the conservation of the Everglades, her best-selling book, The Everglades River of Grass, made her cause popular and earned her the nickname the Grand Dame of the Everglades. She died in 1998 at the age of 108. Wow. After the 1935 hurricane destroyed the Caribbean colony, George Merrick returned to Coral Gables, where he re-entered the real estate business. In 1940, he became postmaster of Miami and died 2 years later in 1942 at the age of 55. Merrick's legacy is still apparent in Coral Gables to this day. In addition to several streets and parks which carry his name, a statue of him was erected in front of Coral Gables City Hall in 2006, commemorating his vision and internal optimism. He's a pretty decent guy, to be honest. And that was a golden wake. It was a very unique game. I've never had adventure games from that time period, from the 20s and 30s. Very rare for games to be so much inspired from real events with real people. It was a very, very nice history lesson as well as game. As usual with these games, I'm gonna wait until the end of the credits because there's usually a hidden cutscene. I've been the ZenBear. I will see you in the next Let's Play, and you're welcome to give any suggestions of any games you'd like to see. I knew that was a toupee.